Okay, make sure your headphones are working and that you can hear me. Have your note spiral and your pencil ready so we can take some notes. All right. Today you're going to be dividing decimals by whole numbers. Title your notes page. Here's the date. Let's review some vocabulary. When I have 80 and 2/10 divided by 2 equals 40 and 1/10, 80 and 2/10 represents my dividend, the 2 represents my divisor, and the 40 and 1/10 represents my quotient. When I do long division, 80 and 2/10 is my dividend that goes inside the box. 2 is what we are dividing by, that's my divisor, and the answer, the quotient, goes on top. All right, make sure that's written in your spiral. All right, let's start with the first division problem. Get some graph paper to help you line it all up. First, we're going to divide as if they're whole numbers, so write these down in a division problem. Either way you write it, with the 0 or without the 0, it's going to work out. So let's divide as if they're whole numbers. 8 divided by 3, closest I can get is 2 times 3 is 6. I subtract and I get 2. I bring down my 4. 24 divided by 3 is 8. 8 times 3, 24. All right. Now, it's very important that you write the quotient in the correct place value spots. The 2 should be above the 8. The 8 should be above the 4. Our last step is we move that decimal point straight up. 84 hundredths divided by 3 is 28 hundredths. Check over your work, and then the next thing we're going to do is check this. How would I check to see if my division problem is done correctly? What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So I'm going to multiply 28 hundredths times 3 and see if that gives me 84 hundredths. 3 times 2, 6, plus 2, 8. Awesome. We did it right. All right, pause the video, press play when you're ready for number 2. Start this one on your own. First, divide as if they're whole numbers. Press play when you're ready to go over it. All right, let's review your work. Make sure you're writing that quotient in the correct place value spots. All right, 35 divided by 4. The closest I can get is 32. 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract and I get 3. Does your work look like mine? Bring down the 6. 36 divided by 4 is 9. All right, the last step is to move that decimal point straight up. So the answer to 3 and 56 hundredths divided by 4 is 89 hundredths. Now, you know the last thing I want to do is I want to check to make sure this is right. So multiply and check. Pause the video and press play when you're ready. All right, let's check it. We have 89 hundredths times 4. 4 times 9, 36. 4 times 8, 32, plus 3, 35. Move that decimal 2 places, 3 and 56 hundredths. Check, I did it right. Pause the video and press play when you're ready for number 3. All right, number 3. We're going to evaluate 936 thousandths divided by x for the given value where x equals 9. What I want you to do is set this up and divide as if they were whole numbers. Press pause, and then when you're ready to check your work, press play. All right, are you ready to check? So we start with 9 divided by 9, which is 1. We subtract and get a 0. Bring down a 3. Now, 3 divided by 9, well, that's going to be 0. 3 divided by 9, 1 times 9 is 9, so 3 divided by 9, that's going to be 0. 0 times 9 is 0. Subtract, we bring down our 6. 36 divided by 9 gives me 4. Now, yours may have looked a little different. We could have done 93 divided by 9 is 10, and 10 times 9 is 90. Subtract and I get 3. 36 divided by 9 is 4. Either way, we have a 1 above the 9, a 0 above the 3, a 4 above the 6. Either way, you did it, it's still going to work out. So either one of those is okay. Now, remember the last step with the decimal point straight up. So the answer to this is 104 thousandths. You know, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to want to check our work with a multiplication problem. So work that out and press pause, and then press play when you're ready to check. All right, 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. 9 times 1 is 9. Move my decimal point 3 places. Check, we did it right. All right, pause the video, press play when you're ready for number 4. Now, you're of course going to be seeing word problems, so let's look at one. Jody and 3 of her friends are making a tile design. The materials cost $10.12. If they share the cost equally, how much should each person pay? Well, remember, we're going to start out dividing as if they are whole numbers. So, $10.12 divided by, am I dividing by 3? I'm dividing by 4. There are 4 people dividing up the cost. All right, press pause, work this out, and then press play when you're ready to check your work. All right, let's check over your work. I've started. 2 times 4 is 8. I subtract and get 2. Bring down the 1. 21 divided by 4. Well, closest I can get is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract and get 1. Now I bring down that 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So don't forget, you got to make sure that you're lining up your quotient in the correct place value spots. The 2 should be above the 0, the 5 above the 1, the 3 above the 2. The last thing we do is move that decimal point straight up. 2 and 53 hundredths. Well, what is that? That's money. If they share the cost equally, how much should each person pay? So each person is going to pay $2.53. We have an important note to write down in the spiral about money. Get your pencil ready. Money has 2 decimal places. So you would not write $4.02. You would write $4.20. And you would write $2.31 instead of 2.305. Money has 2 decimal places. That's really important for an upcoming quiz. So make sure that you have that written down in your notes. Now, you know what I want to do next. I want to check to make sure this is a reasonable answer. Check your division with multiplication, pause the video, press play when you're ready. Let's check your multiplication. $2.53 times the 4 people. It should give me my total of $10.12. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 5 is 20. Plus 1 is 21. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Move that decimal 2 places. Awesome. When we're multiplying, do you notice that we're using some of these same numbers? 4 times 3 is 12. Well, that's what we had right here. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1. Here's my 20, plus 1. Then 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. When we're doing our multiplication to check, it's almost like we're working this backwards. There's definitely a connection between multiplication and division. All right, pause the video. Make sure you've got good notes. Press play when you're ready. All right, draw this table in your spiral. Press pause and then press play when you're ready. All right, similar to multiplying by powers of 10, now we're going to divide by powers of 10. All right, so if I'm dividing by 10, do I want to make the number get larger or smaller? When we're dividing, we're going to divide it and get smaller. So I'm going to move this decimal 1 place to the left. So 45,000 divided by 10 is 4,500. Dividing by 100, I would move it 2 places to the left. So 45,000 is 450. Dividing by 1,000, I would move that decimal 3 places to the left. So 45,000 divided by 1,000 is 45. Look at that. Does that look reasonable? Have you learned this before? Where we move the decimal to the left as we divide by powers of 10? All right, look at number 2. If I move the decimal 1 place to the left, I now have 4 5/10. 2 places to the left, I now have 45 hundredths. 3 places to the left, what would go in this empty space? You're right, a 0. Now I have 45 thousandths. Try number 3 on your own. Pause the video, press play when you're ready to check. Okay, I added some notes down here so you can add them to your spiral. So, I'm going to rewrite it so I have some space. If I move the decimal 1 place to the left, I have 125 thousandths. If I move the decimal 2 places to the left, I'm going to have to fill in with a 0. And now I have 125 tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths. So 125 10 thousandths. One more time with one more 0. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths. All right, it's important to know that when you're dividing by 10, you're moving the decimal to the left. If we were multiplying by 10, we'd be moving the decimal to the right. You've got good notes, and when you're ready, press play so we can move on. Now it's your turn to show your teacher if you're ready. So what you're going to do is write down numbers 1, 2, and 3 in your spiral, solve them, and take them to your teacher so she can check and see how you've done after watching the video. If you need to at any point, rewind the video to review and make sure you've got good notes. Good luck!